Okay, so here we find ourselves in front of my beautiful log house. I transformed it just in time for the cooler months because I wanted it to match the aesthetic, much like I do with every season. And so here I'm actually going to backtrack because I ran by this a little bit too quickly. This is my side yard where I have set up a little bonfire with a nice cozy hangout area that's all autumn colors to blend in with the season. To the right, I have a little tree here that is specific to the autumn months. And back here, I have my little garden and construction area for any local refurbishings that I want to do. Anywhere that you find a storage chest like that on my island, I will have a DIY bench placed directly beside it. Here is my artisanal bug cage. I love it. I got this from Flick from the Bug Off during the earlier summer months. And beside it, here to the left, you can see my white flower garden with a Valiant statue on the right side, along with as an extension of my backyard, a well, garbage can, oil can, and a cypress tree. I just thought that they really went well together, and they're all things that you can kind of find behind the house. It's also really helpful for when I'm pruning my east garden here that we're about to enter into, because I often have a very large amount of flowers that I throw away when I'm doing so. And so here we've entered the East Garden, which has very much a darker theme to it. You can see I have some boulders going on. I've got mossy rocks kind of all over the place, the mossy pillars, and the rock arc or stone arc. I'm not exactly sure what the name is in the catalog there, but you can see what I mean. In the back, it kind of frames that doorway that's farther back. And I really love this piece because this was the first area of my island that I chose to design, and I had an idea for the design. I kind of wanted it to be like a dark, gloomy little alcove, and the original plan was completely designed around the back area in the back corner where I have a little cafe bakery, which was the inspiration for all of it to begin with. And I just really wanted it to feel like this secret garden type of deal, and that was inspired by when I began construction and I started out with the ability to mold the landscape with the construction permits once I acquired them. The idea of having this enclosed space that kind of had a bunch of waterfalls and darker colors and very like shadowy, I guess you could say, was the inspiration for that. I wanted it to feel like a secret, like when you entered into it, it really had this wow factor. And it definitely went through a lot of phases when I was constructing this, which I have pictures of. Started out, the whole thing was encapsulated in cliffside, so it was kind of like entering into a cave almost, even though I can't have an enclosed area overhead, obviously. But it started out with like a single waterfall that kind of went through the area, which I maintained. But I felt like when I was building with the cliff sides, it was just too kind of enclosed and claustrophobic, and it kind of made it feel like you couldn't see a lot of what was going on in here. And this was such a special, cool space that I wanted you to be able to see all of the details, and those were just blocked off by the cliff sides. So I took those out in the front. I brought the whole space forward a little bit so I could make this cascading landscape that you're now seeing here with this entry into what was once my gyroid garden. I had all of the different gyroids that I had collected up there, and we're going to go and visit there in a sec, but I had to take them away because my island went from being a 5-star island to a 4-star island because there was too many gyroids, like they were taking up too much space, and Isabel didn't like that. But I kept the Torii that has the little gyroid emblem on it as a tribute to that. And so now we have entered into my statue garden here, and it's just to show you that that's where that portion extends into. I frequently go from my backyard to the statue garden as opposed to the primary entrance, which is in a different video. Here you have a better idea of what that gyroid garden entrance looks like with the hedges and the cypress trees and the medieval building sides. Back here I have a little secret area that is accessible by vine where I've stored a rocket in the back there, as you can see. Just kind of like a little Easter egg for when you're going around the island. Here to the right on this area of rock I have a pirate alcove, which was a really fun little thing to do with that corner, which we'll go and explore in the East Shore tour. Not right now. But we're coming back over here to go and show you a little bit closer up what this rocket area looks like. I really, really love how there are these little secret hidden rocks on the back that you can put stuff on, because this isn't the only location at the back of my island where I've hidden things away. And if you noticed earlier in the video, I have a Mario pipe which leads to another secret location at the back of the island, which is one of my favorite features. And so here we're going to promenade over into the forest end of the East Garden. This is actually recently renovated. I have had such a hard time figuring out what to do with this space because it always felt like I just wasn't getting the right vibe. And so it's been a gyroid garden, it's been a well, I had it completely paved over at one point. None of this water area was here before. An exception was when you cross that bridge over there, the Red Zen Bridge. There's a little area with pagodas that we're gonna go and check out, but this is all super new aside from this waterfall here, but I just had it coming from a little alcove as opposed to this divided space that extends back so that I could have that bridge passing over another waterfall that goes behind this front area where I primarily store all of my lily of the valley. And it's a really cute little spot. I love it. I actually just put this bridge in like this week because I finally found the right inspiration for what to do with the space from there was another creator that had posted some images that I got inspiration from with this. And it just creates this beautiful landscape. It's really, really good for pictures. It ties into the theme that you'll see farther to the right here that I built out with some waterfalls that has more of a like marshy feel to it. So this is the area with pagodas where you can see that tiny little pond that's in the center there. Again, another tiny pond that I added in so that I could fish, specifically the only fish that you can get in the ponds that are on a cliff top. And this extends forward into this area here that I have a couple of stone lion dogs and bamboo trees lining. This is super cute at night, and it ties into the Asian themes that I have throughout the island because I love Asia, specifically Japan and China, and this area is kind of a tribute to that. And I love those tiny little lamps. The kiddo lamps that are on either side of that staircase there are one of my favorite items in this game because they're so cute, and when I found them it just was perfect because I really felt like the stone lanterns that stand really tall that you can do as a DIY were just too much for what I wanted for that specific space. And I have another one on the opposite side of the island in the West Garden, which you would have seen in a previous video when I did a tour. So here you can see the landscape where I've placed up an outdoor bath in front of that, the bridge that lines that, and I modified some of the, oh, what are they called? The pillars. The pillars that are in line with the theme of like very tan, light, stones and features through on this specific level of my island that you don't find anywhere else. And that light tan brick really, or stone, I should say, ties the whole area together. And it was also recently renovated because I wanted to open up this top space so that you could see the lilies of the valley more clearly. And I had some pillars that were in front of it before, but it felt like too much was going on in this area, and I wanted to showcase it because it's one of my favorite spots on the island. As you can see, I've acquired quite a few of the lilies of the valley, and I like to keep them all together if I can because I feel like they complement each other and they look a little bit out of place if I have them placed randomly on the island. Um, so it's kind of like a little showcase there. And here we're within the pagodas, and it's such a cute little space. I really like taking pictures there and taking pictures of it, especially at night. I find that Celeste gravitates towards this back corner when she comes to visit, so I have a few photos of her that I plan to share in the future because they're so pretty. Here you're able to see half or part of that marshy, like swamp area with the waterfalls I was talking about before. And this is the entrance to there. Here you can see the bakery that I was talking about previously. This was the inspiration for all of this, like, quarter of the island. And I've kind of played around with it in terms of theme and color scheme and the flowers that I wanted to have around it, but the pieces of it themselves, like the stonework kitchen and the counters and the display counter in the front and the signs, have always been there. And I feel like they bring to life this element of myself that I love, which is baking. I have been baking since I was so small, I can't even remember, and it's one of my favorite things to do. And it's a way that I show people that I care. So it's it's a part of the island that's really close to my heart, and I'm excited to be able to share it. So thank you. And I really hope that you enjoyed this little tour, and I hope that you'll come back to check out the rest of my island in the future. And yeah, thanks for joining me, and come back to see what's on the other end of this pipe. Bye bye, have a great day.